Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. In Judith Viorst's children's book, I'll Fix Anthony, a younger brother complains about the way his older brother Anthony treats him. My brother Anthony can read books now, but he won't read any books to me. He plays checkers with Bruce from his school, but when I want to play, he says, "Go away or I'll clobber you." I let him wear my Snoopy sweatshirt, but he never lets me borrow his sword. Mother says deep down in his heart, Anthony loves me. Anthony says deep down in his heart, he thinks I stink. Mother says deep, deep down in his heart, where he doesn't even know it, Anthony loves me. Anthony says deep, deep down in his heart, he still thinks I stink. When I'm 6, I'll fix Anthony. One of the 7 deadly sins is anger. And that's how we feel a lot of times, isn't it? It's so easy for us to become angry, to get lost in anger, to react with blind fury. But then when the dust settles, we usually find that we aren't too happy with ourselves and what's left of our world. There's been a series of movies in the past few years focused on the Avengers, a group of superheroes, and one of them is the Hulk. The Hulk is a normal man who received a large dose of radiation, and the result is that when he gets angry, he turns into a large, green, mindless, immensely strong, almost invincible creature of rage who destroys just about everything in his path. In and of itself, that's not too bad a description of what happens when we are angry. But maybe you also remember about 30 years or so ago when there was a television series called The Incredible Hulk, based on the same creature. I remember that one of the most pointed moments of the show came right at the very beginning as the show was introduced. The camera focused on the word anger, flashing in red like a warning, and then pulled back to show the first letter of the word spelling danger. And I think there's some very real danger in our anger. There are basically 3 sources of anger in our lives. The first is what others do. Well, that's easy to understand. Other people make us angry all the time. They take what's ours. They hurt us. They are insensitive. It's easy to get angry at what others do and the way others are. A second source of anger in our lives is what we do. That might be even easier to understand. Who among us hasn't gotten angry with themselves for some failure or lack of foresight? Somewhere I read that someone had made a kicking machine and that for $1 you could stand there and push a button and the machine would kick you in the rear. I read that in 3 years the machine wore out a belt and 4 pair of shoes through use. Lots of times we'd like to kick ourselves for the things we've done. The third source of anger in our lives is the things that just are. The things that just happen that we have no control over. We've all felt that frustration too. The world has a philosophy, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I think there's wisdom in Gandhi's response to that, saying that that philosophy would leave the world a lot of blind, toothless people. Jesus offers another way. Turn the other cheek, he said. And to most of us that sounds crazy. You can't live like that, we argue. But imagine the world if we dared. The key to overcoming anger is to realize the love that God has for you and to give that love to others. Last, I think I need to share with you Frederick Buechner's thoughts on the word anger. Of the 7 deadly sins, anger is probably the most fun, he writes. To lick your wounds, to smack your lips over grievances long past, to roll over your tongue the prospects of bitter confrontations still to come, to savor the last toothsome morsel, both the pain you have given and the pain you are giving back. In many ways, it is a feast fit for a king. The chief drawback is that what you are wolfing down is yourself. The skeleton at the feast is you. The key to overcoming anger is to realize the love that God has for you and to give that love to others. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.